Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the dual mode Warthog. This is one I've been meaning to review for a while. I got it from Noble 6 Originals, a month or so ago. And it's just been sitting here waiting for me to get to it. So today we're finally going to take a look. And I'm very, very interested to take a closer look at this because this is only the third, well, I guess technically it's the fourth Warthog I've owned. I have the Arctic Warthog, the Capture the Flag one. I have the new Warthog Rally. I have I had the Night Ops Gauss Hog, and now I have this one. So I'm curious to see how this stacks up to particularly the Warthog Rally set. So we're definitely going to be comparing the two. Also, I just want to say before we start, I am missing like the long bumper piece. So just remember that if you were to buy this set sealed, you would have a little bumper back there. So let's go ahead and jump in, start looking at the figures, and then we'll move on to the hog. The set comes with two figures, both of which are Spartans. And our first Spartan is this Hermes Spartan, which personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Halo 4 and 5 Hermes. I don't like how the forehead sticks out. It's not nearly as bad as Vector, but I don't know. It's just not great to me. But this, honestly, for some reason, I kind of like the way this figure looks. I like the bulky lower legs. Although, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Is this supposed to be the War Master's legs? No, it's not. I don't know. I'm getting confused now. She's really bulky. She's got bulky armor here. This is usually used for the Defender Spartans. Then she's got the Hermes chest plate, or I don't know if that's specifically Hermes. It's just the one that both Kelly and Linda have. There's some print. I don't know what exactly those shoulder pads are, but one of them has print, which is kind of interesting. I was not expecting that. It's got a fire team emblem of a little hornet, but I don't think we get these guys their fire team named specifically. So that's kind of cool. Not a bad looking figure. She comes armed with a magnum. I'm just not a huge fan of this armor set. Now, before we move to the next figure, I was curious, and probably the review for Fireteam Rhino is not out yet. There is a review coming, but I wanted to see how they stack up. Looks like Fireteam Rhino is actually a brighter shade of tan. Very curious. Now I'm wondering, what shade of tan was the Spartan Customizer pack compared to these guys? Except I don't have that figure anymore. So we will be left wondering on that one for a while. Our second figure is a Spartan War Master. Now, this guy is pretty cool. I like the War Master design. I like the kind of skull face. I think that looks pretty good. Come on, my camera is kind of wigging out into focus. I'm a little confused here, though. Why did the groin armor get printed? That seems extra for, no reason. And it's just the front as well. Not the back, just the front piece. Is that supposed to have gone on here? I don't know. I didn't get the instructions, and I looked at the online instructions to build the hog, but I didn't really look at the figures all that much. So keep in mind, these figures might be built a little bit incorrectly. We have that Fireteam emblem again. You can see it's on both, which I really like that, and was just very surprising to me. I didn't think that we would get something making these Spartans unique, because they do, at first glance, just look like, generic Halo 4 and 5 Spartans, but clearly they're part of some sort of fire team or squad or something. And then this dude also gets the painted groin armor for no reason. He comes armed with a Hydra, which is a fantastic piece. I really just, the way it poses in figures' hands, it's so easy to get it into shooting positions. So I would say this is probably one of my favorite Mega Construx weapon pieces. It just works so well. Looks good. It's just a shame we didn't get very many printed ones. So yeah, really cool figure. This guy is definitely my favorite out of the two. And again, I'm just surprised that Mega went so extra with these. So here is the Warthog itself. So at first glance, it's a plain silver Warthog. We have the UNSC branding on the front and the side here. It comes default with a Gauss cannon, which looks pretty good, although it's so bulky that the turret tends to get out of alignment fairly easily. But it looks pretty cool. You can see like the blue through the barrel. There's plenty of detail. We get to see the reloading chamber here. Looks pretty nice. Inside, I want to get a closer look inside. Inside, there's actually a little screen that shows the Warthog itself. So we'll get a closer look at that in a moment. But I wanted to show, too, there is a working winch, which is really, really nice. I'm kind of sad Mega stopped doing that. I don't really know why they stopped doing that because it's pretty easy to achieve. We got 2 seats in there. On the back, we have a gas can or a water can, I guess. Antenna, and like I said, there would be a bumper here. But I'm missing that. So let me get in a little closer. I really want to show that printed console in there. There we go. I actually removed the whole front windshield. But look at that. There's like stats and a picture of the Warthog, which makes this, I believe, exclusive to this set. Then we have some more buttons and then a little throttle. But yeah, that's really cool. I was not expecting that at all. Mega just, with this set, they keep doing these weird little extra things that I was not expecting. So that's really, really nice. Also, this gives me a chance to show off that under the hood, there is a bit of an engine, which is also really extra and really cool. See, the front just kind of pegs on with this clip. You can just kind of pop like so. And then if you want it off, you can just kind of pop it off and take a look at the engine. Really extra, really cool, and very surprising. In case you were wondering, no, the front will not pop off just without you wanting it to. Yes, it's only held on by one clip, but also the windshield holds it on. And then on the front, we've got some lights. So in its default form, this is a really nice looking Warthog. We don't have any suspension, but the stance of this thing is just really menacing. So let me bring in the Warthog Rally Hog. You can see what I mean about the stance. It's a lot lower and kind of feels more stable almost. This one, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite hog, the Rally Hog. But this one is kind of coming in a very close second because the proportions, the colors, everything just looks really, really good. It looks like a beefy machine, something that would be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. This Gauss cannon just keeps wanting to flop. Stay up, please. So yeah, interesting to see them side by side. You know, obviously they're both Warthogs. You can tell that right away. But the variation between the two is really, really, really cool. So that would kind of be the end of it, except this is the dual mode Warthog, which means we have an entire pile of pieces that we need to add on to this hog. So that requires pieces being removed, which means we're going to go ahead and pop that off. We're going to pop these off. We're going to pop these off. Kind of strip this down to the bare minimum. And now we have all these extra pieces to add on. So first, we're going to add the Fireteam emblem, which, in my opinion, you should leave these on all the time because it matches the Spartans really well. So then we're going to add some more armor up here. Oh, whoops, I put the other one on the wrong section. There we go. So now we've got more armor on the sides. And then, oh, whoops, I need that, that thing. Now we are going to have a whole rack of missiles instead of the Gauss cannon. Okay. These missiles are also kind of fiddly. Wait, did I do that right? I might be missing a piece here. Yeah, no, that's not right. Somehow I've misplaced the other little tube. Hold on, I'll get that in a moment. But we'll keep rolling with this. So we're gonna add the, like, whatever you call that, the bar on the outside. It's gonna just pop onto the front like so. Looks really good. And then these things here are going to clip to the sides. So it's like a ladder kind of thing, but then it's going to fold up and create some extra protection along the sides. Like that. There we go. And now we have this massive bumper. This is a battering ram, really. It's not a bumper at this point. Look at that. You could literally just mow down your enemies. You don't even need the rocket launcher. You just crash straight into them. But we are going to put the rocket launcher on, so let me go grab that extra piece. So apparently I was wrong about being wrong about this. So that is just the piece that you use. It's kind of high up, but that kind of makes sense as well because it is a rack of missiles. You don't want the missiles going off right above your head. So that kind of does make sense. So we got missiles. They're clipped on there. Problem is these things crack really easily. There's little cracks running all along the silver pieces. So far, it's not really inhibiting their use at all. It just is kind of frustrating. Also, we're to assume that the missiles would be launched from in here. So, like, the Spartans would be both sitting in the cockpit and then, I guess, targeting from there. Because there's no way for you to mount a figure to steer it, which, even if you could, the missiles going off would just fry whoever was standing there. So, missile goes off, your head is melted, and then you've lost your gunner after one shot. So, that kind of makes sense. And it looks really, really frightening. Like, imagine you're Covenant, right? And then you just see this come around the corner with all 4 missiles pointed right at you. That's pretty frightening. And you can move it all around, too. So you could turn this into, like, anti-air hog. You could turn this into just, like, destroying everything around you. So it's pretty cool. I personally like the look of this a little bit more than the Gauss cannon. It just is a little bit more intimidating. Although the missiles, again, like I said, they're kind of fiddly. They want to, like, do their own thing and look weird. So you kind of have to keep realigning them. But, yeah, I think this is a cool add-on here. And then, like I showed before, we have the little, like, ladder things. So your Spartans can climb up easier and then be more protected when it's all sealed up. The bars on the front look great. This bumper is fantastic. My only complaint with it is that there's nothing keeping it from folding backwards too far, which I guess you could just kind of do that and just leave it folded a little bit down. It just kind of catches the wheels a little bit if you don't angle it just right. That's the main thing I don't like about the bumper is how fiddly it is. You have to make sure it's all angled just right or else the wheels don't turn. Not a ton changed around the back, just this extra armor paneling here. But yeah, I really, really like this configuration. I think it looks way, way beefier. Just looks more, I don't know, more a force to be reckoned with. And so now, if we drop the Warthog Rally, Warthog, and they look very, very different. Because this guy on this side is more like a tank at this point. And yes, you can fit both the figures in there. It's just, you just kind of fiddle them in there. There's no real trick to it. Just sit them in there. The seats tend to pop out a lot, which is kind of frustrating, but you can do that. There's clips here and here for your weapons. So yeah, that's really, really cool. This is the kind of thing that I would want to drive if I had to fight some hunters. This is like the anti-hunter hog. Just crash into them, send a missile, and, you're done. Time to move on. Well, there you have it. That is the dual mode Warthog. Such a cool idea. The fact that there's basically two different Warthogs, but in one box is really neat. And on top of that, so I just switched it back and forth between one mode, the Gauss Hog mode and then the Rocket Hog mode. But you could really easily just kind of swap parts on and off. So like if I wanted, I could just leave the bumper off and I have a Rocket Hog that way. I could put the bumper back on and put the Gauss cannon back on. I could put this bumper on and take these off. I could just take the sides off. I could just take the B emblem off. you know, you have a whole bunch of customization options, and I think that's really, really cool. And Mega hasn't really done anything like this again until, I guess technically Arbiter's Quest, because we get the 2 Banshees in one. But yeah, for the like UNSC stuff, we haven't really seen anything like this since. And honestly, I think Mega should give this whole dual mode something another go. I don't know, like a dual mode Scorpion, I don't know, something like that. Dual mode Wasp, add some sort of Wasp add-ons. I don't know, there's just a lot you can do with it. But yeah, this is fantastic. I really, really like this. And it drives really nicely. Like you could spend a couple hours just driving this around, crashing it into grunts. It's just a really, really cool set. And the best part is it's not even that expensive on the aftermarket. You can get this used for like $50. Mercari has a bunch of different people selling it for between $50 and $60, which for what it is, it's not bad. Yes, that's a bit steep, but it's not bad. I would say don't pay any more than like 60. Over 60 feels too much, but 60 and under, that's a great price. And again, I'm surprised at the little like extraness, the touches of extraness that Mega put in there. The printed shoulder emblems, the printed groin armor, the add-on of the little B symbol, the readout on the inside of the control panel thing. That just was very surprising to me. So I feel like whoever designed this set really put a lot of like love and care into it and made it pretty much the best that it could be. Overall, I would say this is absolutely an A+ set. 100% worth tracking one down. But again, don't pay more than like 60. I think if you pay over 60, then that feels a bit scammy. But under 60, 100% worth it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.